They were taller than mountains. The American giant Indians. Let it be known worldwide.
So they don't even know how big America really is. Just to drive from the East Coast to the West Coast, gonna take the average person 3 days. And that's if they non-stop, really moving 12-some hours a day. Some people, it might take them 5-6 days to go from the East to the West Coast. That's how big this thing is. But now, all throughout, there's places in America where don't nobody go. It ain't nobody trying to buy no land out there. It's even places that nobody owns the land. Government, nobody owns it. It's just empty land. And, and it's not always just desert. You're talking about land that people could live on, could farm, could whatever, could build factories, warehouse, but they don't do it. And that's because years and years ago, they found out that in certain parts of America that's guarded by these women, these giant, tall, 50-foot, 100-foot, 500-foot women. These women is the size of mountains. Yeah, these pictures, these videos might make it look like they standing next to a bush or something, but that ain't no bush. Used to be some witches down there up in Louisiana. Each one of them 8 to 10 feet tall. Something happened, some kind of curse. Now some folk would probably say it was a blessing to be that tall, but it was some kind of curse that was put up on the family. So they had to deal with their height. Always, having to stick to themselves. Because if they ever went around the rest of the folks, they looked at them like they were some kind of monsters, some kind of demons. And they always come at them, so they learned to just stay there off to themselves. They did their own farming, they had their own land, and they did everything at night sometimes just to make sure that nobody come by and ever lay eyes on them. And as the next generation came, they learned to be scared of society from the older generation. So they never really ventured off much. And nobody had any kids, nobody had any sons. So, hey, nobody passed on the bloodline, nobody passed on the curse. But there is a little rumor that one of the witches broke away and left her family. So the 10-foot tall witches started off in Mississippi. They was big, strong women coming from the Delta. Now, the reason why they called witches is because they say it was a curse put on them that made them 10 feet tall. Some of them 8 feet tall. Now, some people say, oh, that ain't no curse. Look, you cannot live in society when you're 8 to 10 feet tall because everybody gonna treat you like a monster, especially back in the days when everybody was superstitious. Okay, so yeah, it made it hard for them to function in society being 8 to 10 feet tall. Made it hard for them to find love. Made it hard for them to have friends. That's just how society is. So they went into seclusion. Now, after living in seclusion for so long, one of the youngest, because it was only a few generations of them, supposedly. Now, it might be some, they say it's a couple of generations that came after that nobody know what really happened to them. But this first generation, and then the second generation came. Now, the second generation, they wasn't okay with staying in seclusion. They wasn't all right with just staying up on their little farm, on their little plantation and doing their thing. They wanted to see what society was like. So one of the girls would always sneak away. Every chance she would get, she'd sneak off and go to town. Now, when she went to town, she would look at the people having their little parties and their little bars and little joints and all that.